So one of the momisms I still hold merit is that after watching too much TV, your eyes will become squares. Of course, in a literal sense, this is impossible. Yet the accuracy of its metaphorical meaning is shocking. Our world is so visibly evolved around communication technology that we have become truly ignorant of what is going on in society. We see the world through square glasses, and by that ignore everything which takes place outside this scope. For instance, if you ask a 15-year-old girl what is happening in Syria right now, she will plainly tell you that some terrorists are fighting a war or something, doing weird things. But if you ask her again about the latest Snapchat update, she will give you a never-ending lecture explaining all its features and all it can do. Isn't this ironic? However, we are not in a position to blame any of these teenagers for their unawareness, since unfortunately, most of us are no better. We see fathers taking their sons out to catch virtual Pokemons, and we accept online cookies as if they're real. Isn't playing real-life hide-and-seek and baking real cookies what we actually should be doing? Or can we maybe say that we're becoming as addicted to social media as our great friend, the Donald? However, over the summer, I read 2 novels, Feed and Brave New World. Both novels are social commentaries that warn us about the aggregate consequences of living in a utopia. In short, Feed displays the dangers of an overpowering consumerism, and the author of Brave New World challenges traditional morality and the growth towards consumerism in the 1920s. While written 70 years apart from each other, there is still a common message prevalent. Both settings display a technologically advanced society that affects mankind to such an extent that we have become dehumanized, lacking both emotion and individual identity. This dehumanization is due to the fact that we blindly obey governmental or corporate authority, and we conform to all standards of society. However, what I found profoundly disturbing is that a lot of parallels can be drawn between these 2 fictional worlds and our modern world. For instance, in Feed, a huge computer network called FeedNet is directly implanted to the brains of 73% of the Americans by means of an implanted device called a feed. And it's like positioned right here. How many of you right now feel naked without their notifications popping up all the time because they told you to turn your phone off? Can I see hands? Yeah, thank you. That's what I thought. But you're not the only one, because Time magazine has found that 84% worldwide couldn't go a single day without their mobile phones at hand. Yeah, I was kind of shocked too. We constantly feel this desire to check, to answer, or to see what others are doing, and social media succeeds in fulfilling these desires. Just like in Feed, we can access our mobile phones at any time of the day, and social media offers us immediate rewards with very little effort requirements. You just have to tap your phone and it does everything for you. We are so accustomed to patterns, to instant gratification, and to convenience that we sometimes forget to look around us instead of looking at our phones. Which brings me exactly to my next point. With the advent of technology, the number of teenagers suffering from FOMO has increased. FOMO is an acronym used to describe a teenager's feeling of fear to miss out on something. No Friday night could be spent home alone without feeling a little sense of loneliness, and with the rise in popularity of apps such as Snapchat, this form of depression has worsened. Teenagers broadcast all their wild adventures to a wide audience of peers to show what an amazing time they're having. Well, sadly, the opposite is often true, And Snapchat has simply become a means by which people tend to provoke a sense of jealousy in others. Because this jealousy helps the sender to boost his own self-esteem, knowing that they belong to the group that doesn't miss out. Teenagers are unwilling to veer from the decided norm and have become apathetic to critical thinking. And well, it is essentially this critical thinking that makes us individuals, because otherwise we would be all the same. Interestingly, the existence of nonconformity does not appear to have any effect on this dehumanization, because if someone is an outsider, we tend to bully or intentionally exclude such individuals. And so to avoid being an outsider, teenagers strive to battle FOMO by conforming to all the social and moral standards that the teenagers have created. This seems to affect society to such an extent that we are visibly evolved around communication technology. For instance, how many of you have ever seen a couple in a restaurant that couldn't take their eyes off their phones? Yeah, that's weird, but I have too, and I've seen them posting on Facebook. They were enjoying some quality time, while all they did was staring at their phones, completely ignorant of each other. We are missing out on some of the most intense moments that involve deeper emotional connections. Unless, of course, the Wi-Fi stops working. Then we don't know what to do, and we're just staring at each other, and things get very awkward. So I often found myself thinking that if innovation in technology causes these emotional instabilities, then why the hell should the solution be to continuously proceed conforming to the social pressures that only encourage us to use more technology? Is it really these flawed representations of life we see on Snapchat that cause these emotional problems? Or could we say that there is some hidden force that unconsciously motivates us to conform? Well, as a matter of fact, there is. Big companies have managed to increase their political power by creating a media and corporate-dominated culture. They are winning from our lack of personal identity and therefore uphold values that allow the rights of the needs of the community to outweigh the rights of the individual. They pursue social stability and economic wealth at the expense of ethical behavior. I hear many of you think now, like, I am winning from social media too. My life has become so much easier. You have apps for everything, like literally everything. Even like the amount of hours you spend on the toilet, you can like record it. So think twice, who's benefiting more? Our over-reliance on technology enables big firms to maintain consumer profiles. By this, they can streamline our identities and divide us up into personality types. This makes it easier for them to control individual consumption by, as they can bait us with powerful and targeted advertising propaganda. For instance, how many of you have experienced that after booking a flight to, let's say, New York City, you encounter numerous advertisements the next day on all different websites that all promote hotels in the city? Yeah? That's what I thought. This constant stream of info we find on the internet that tells us what to buy, what to listen to, what to like, what body modifications to pursue, it all ends up making words like identity and individuality meaningless and subversive. Due to the increased usage of social media, we have developed an habituated inclination to instant gratification. And since mindless consumption is a form of instant gratification, these big companies heavily rely on our proneness to mindlessly consume and buy whatever they have to sell. This thought of being controlled by these big companies is kind of scary, but the thought of having to give up social media is too. So is there maybe a way by which we can preserve our individual identity and experience more intense emotions without having to give up social media completely? I think there is. It isn't a matter of enormous willpower. It is just a matter of prioritizing. Think about what makes you happy. What personally makes me happy is to see that other people are expressing their feelings without using any words. If you pay attention to the small details of someone's face, it reveals so much more than you think. These emotional interactions cannot be compared to WhatsApp conversations. And while I may hold this truth to be self-evident, it's not that easy for a lot of people. I often hear people saying, like, yeah, but you have emojis to express your feelings. These are all, like, all these smiley faces and everything. It's amazing. But let me ask you this. How many of you are guilty of sending a smiley face or typing, ha ha ha, laughing my ass off, while staring emotionless to your phone? Yeah, that's, well, I must admit, I have been too in the past. I refer back to prioritizing. Something that doesn't make me happy is to participate in endless and often pointless online chatting conversations. Emojis and words cannot accurately convey these emotions, and I therefore think that online chatting lacks a sense of intimacy. But don't get me wrong, I do enjoy the occasional catch-up with an old friend or someone living abroad, but I just don't see, like with the people who surround me, I just don't see that online chatting is the most crucial and most prominent form of communication. I must also admit that experiencing social pressures from peers has sometimes made me feel inclined to comply. However, by consciously choosing not to do so, I found myself to be happier. I don't care anymore what other people think. I just found a way to enjoy the smaller things in life. Look for a change at someone's face while other people are singing for him or her on their birthday. Because is posting that Snapchat story really more important than seeing someone's face becoming awkwardly red as you're singing for them? By changing your attitude towards technology, one single step at a time, chasing small things like looking at someone's face instead of looking at your phone, I think you can become happier. So please remember that the power to change lies in your hands. Thank you.